Hey guys, just before we start this video off, I just want to say please follow me on all the social media platforms that you can find down in the video description and down below. You can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, and that's pretty much it down in the description below. And if you want me to continue doing content and really want me to do more of these videos, then please support me on Patreon. Or link also down in the video description box down below. So without further ado, let's crack down onto this video and I'll get on and let's crack down to it. Hey guys, welcome to my first proper type of Dragon Ball discussion video. Kai from Kaiser Tinkle here. Now, first off, I love Dragon Ball. As you may know, I love Dragon Ball and everything like that. I follow a lot of the Dragon Ball YouTubers, from Miss DBZ Babe. Shout out to her because she did the design for this beauty. So I want to shout out to her. Next is I follow Geekdom 101, Massacre X, and everything. Now, one thing is after the whole second trailer of Broly, this super movie that's coming out in December in Japan and January in the US with its English dub, a lot of controversy happened and a lot of retcons happen as well. Now, most of the fandom, or some of the fandom, have read Jacko, the Galactic Patrolman. In this, we see not just a bonus chapter of Goku's origins, but in this as well, on page 211, we come to the end of the Jacko manga on 210 and 211. Jacko is curious about where the Saiyan of Planet Vegeta is. It then cuts to Mount Paozu, or Mount Paoz. You know, the home where Goku lived since he was a child and still lives there now with Chi-Chi and Goten. And it cuts to the iconic Gohan home that we first see him at Dragon Ball. Then cuts down to a picture of Grandpa Gohan with Goku. And here we have Goku wearing Saiyan armor. Speech bubbles. The word balloons state here that Gohan states that I have no idea who you are, but you are unbelievably strong for a small kid. It would have been dangerous if I wasn't a martial arts expert. But you haven't been taught any manners, have you? So, right, that's understandable. With this panel, you can see a lot of reasons why, when you go into the next thing I'm going to be discussing, into the panel of how Roshi states how Goku was found, some of that elements of that story is present just within this panel. Manners. Goku being wild. Manners can be part of the wildness, so him eating without saying thank you, please, and just grabbing what he wants, and probably pushed Grandpa Gohan away because he wanted food. Really wild. And the fact is, it's glad that Gohan was a martial arts expert. And he then offers Goku to live there because he hasn't got a home to return to. Because he then says, I have a thing or two. And then it goes on to saying on the next page that I don't know what your name is, so I'll give you one. Let me see. You came falling out of the sky, so how does Goku sound? Son Goku. So he came up with Goku because of him falling from the sky. So coming from outer space, landing in the woods in Mount Paoz, and what Viz used is the word ku, what means sky. So Goku can be called Go Sky. Okay, so that pretty much is everything in the main Jacko portion with Goku and Gohan, because it was just a brief thing before the main story actually ends that goes back to our main focus of the main characters. We cut down to Dragon Ball Minus with the whole origins of Bardock, Goku's mother, and everything like that. First off, before I go with the whole next section I want to talk about within this video, I want to just mention that a lot of people skimmed Minus when they are mentioning Minus about the manga and how it retconned a lot of things. A lot of people, and I'm not going to bash them as much, I will mention that in one of Geekton's reviews. I tweeted to him, mentioned it, but I didn't get replies from him. Yes, he's a big Dragon Ball historian and everything, so his opinion can mean his opinion, my opinion can mean opinion, and I've worked hard on this research just for this video, and it's mainly the panel. This panel here, this page of Frieza stating that he will execute his plan, and his plan is to eradicate the Saiyans in a month's time, mainly because he cannot wait for the other Saiyans that are still off-world that will take more than a month to arrive back. His assistant that has appeared in Super Broly trailer, but I can't remember his name, goes on saying this is a pity, the Saiyans make really good combatants. But by the way, how many Saiyans have returned to planet Vegeta so far? His assistant or attendant says most of them should be back in another month or so, but it will probably take a little longer for every single one to come back. Right, now if Minus is now being incorporated, that panel into the main anime lore, the whole story on this bit here, these two panels are going to be very interesting. We know originally that only a few Saiyans survived. Goku, Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz. They're the main four Saiyans that were arrived. Now including Broly and Paragus, 6 Saiyans survived this whole thing. But this panel I want to bring up because a lot of people don't bring this page up or on any videos, even with now the whole Minus being incorporated into Broly, they don't mention this page. And I'm using Jacko the Galactic Patrolman as a reference here, and that page is now going to be one of the keystones in this video that I'm going to be talking about a lot and wanting your feedback on it. So there's one panel where he says, but some of them will take longer. Some Saiyans took longer to come back. Right then, so if this is going to be adapted, if these lines are going to be adapted, or this Japanese version gets lines from the Japanese one gets used into the Japanese script, and then get dubbed, and it's similar to what the manga is saying, there could be potentially more Saiyans out there. More Saiyans out there. Not just the 6 that I've mentioned, but more. Because it very makes you wonder. More Saiyans. Right. Because depending how far these Saiyans have travelled from planet Vegeta to other planets and conquer them from other planets, it has made me wonder and made me think and realise how many were further out. How many would take more than a month to get back to planet Vegeta? How many? Quite a few. It could be quite a few. It could be just 1 or 2. It could just be the ones I mentioned. But I doubt it because some of those Saiyans, it could just mean Raditz, Nappa and Vegeta. But it could mean there are others out there, and we don't know about them. This is giving us more in-depth clues on how many Saiyans could potentially still be surviving, and no one knows. Because it goes to then Frieza saying that he couldn't wait a month, or he couldn't wait over a month until every single Saiyan comes back. So the Saiyans that probably came back over, like probably 2 months, or just over that month that Frieza executes his plan, they could be coming back to a planet that doesn't exist no more. And that's probably what happens. So what are they going to do? They'd probably ended up detecting that Vegeta's gone. So they had to reset their coordinates to another planet that is close to Vegeta or somewhere else. Or they left or stayed on the planet they were on before they left, because like Bardock, they probably did not trust Frieza, and they didn't want to. They were still halfway through doing their mission on this planet when the call to return back to Vegeta was done, and they didn't want to leave this planet to unfinished, because then all their hard work had to be redone if they decided to go back. But so that's another question. How many Saiyans could end up now being? Alright, now that is a retcon right there. I can pick out that with that panel included, with that word balloon and that character saying some maybe a little bit longer to return. Right, okay, a little bit longer to return. Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a month, an extra 2 months extra to return back to Planet Vegeta. Frieza wants to execute his plan within a month. Within a month. So the ones that can make it back in that month's time, that's when he's going to be executing his plan, is that month. Now, this is going to be multiple discussions part of, just to give your mind a little bit into the insights of what I think and what I've been thinking of for the last few years since Minus has came out. It's been on my mind. I don't really talk about it much, but this video I had to do since Broly came out. I had to do it now. So the whole plan to execute the Saiyans happens in a month. Is that going to stay into Broly? Now, if they're adapting Minus's chapter into the Broly movie, then that part hopefully should still be intact. Because the second trailer is a trailer. We do not know where certain elements have been placed, what scenes have been taken, what scenes have been placed. Has it shown too much? Yes, it's shown a bit too much, but we don't know if there is a month time skip within this first 20 minutes that I've heard that we're going to get of the Saiyan's backstory, with them being a child, with them being a baby. We don't know how many, if they're going to include a month's time skip, just up to right before the explosion. Now, the whole month thing I am going to bring up again. So let me get into this a little bit more then. Right, now the whole Bardock. In Minus, he's returned back to Planet Vegeta with an undamaged armor. In Minus, his armor is damaged from doing planet conquering off-world. As we've seen at the beginning of Minus. His armor is unscathed in the trailer. Now, that doesn't mean anything. That's just one alteration that probably Akira decided to do, changed it anyway. But both manga and in the trailer, he doesn't trust Frieza at all. Okay? So, we got a plan to eradicate the Saiyans within a month. During that month, Bardock probably sent Goku off, sent him off along with Guinan, Bardock sent him off, and then, within that month, Bardock probably wanted to change to a lighter armor, a bit more easy to move around armor. That's where his special Bardock, the Father of Goku TV special armor, the one that is also in page 95 and 94 on volume 10 in the Viz Media releases, or it will be volume 26 in the Japanese release of Dragon Ball of Bardock. As you can see, we can see Bardock in the panel there as well, all the way up to him being eradicated. Now, yes, and the Bardock in here is his TV special appearance. Now, the TV special appearance, yes, that's now been retconned. I will say it, that doesn't really happen, but those panels in there can still happen. Because in Minus, remember, in Minus, Frieza states that he's executing his plan within a month. That 1 month, Bardock still do the rebellion, can still change his armor. And that's something that I've been bringing up. Nobody is bringing up this whole eradicating the Saiyan plan in a month's time in any videos I've noticed. No one has brought it up. No one. Everybody's just going off the trailers and stuff like that. I'm thinking past the trailer. I'm thinking about the source material that some of the scenes have been adapting and what changes they have done within the trailer. But some of the content that probably will still be from the chapter, that'll probably still be in Dragon Ball Super Broly. That might not be changed because Minus is probably still fresh in Akira Toriyama's head. So he probably still has the manuscripts locked away, and he probably just pulled them out. I heard that he doesn't normally go back and look at his old work, but he probably did it just for writing the main film script for Dragon Ball Super Broly. He probably did do it this time. So the whole thing that I'm getting at here, the month thing is the big giveaway. If the month is mentioned, because that has not been mentioned at all in the trailer, because yet again, it's the second trailer. Not everything has been shown. They're keeping some stuff in it. Maybe the whole month section has been mentioned and is in the film, but they're keeping it a secret because then they might be including a month time skip. We don't know. But the fact that in Minus it includes that Frieza's going to be executing his plan within a month's time means that's a big gap. A lot of things can be done in a month. Bardock can change his armor. Bardock could rally up some allies, because there probably are some. Unlike the TV Bardock Goku where he had that foresight vision that I always actually found dumb, because it just made Bardock look like a joke. Apart from a joke, regardless of that whole future seeing thing, beyond a joke, and he tried to tell everybody that Frieza's going to blow up the planet, and everybody was laughing him off. I always found that a joke. Why give him the special power? And then it just shows that Bardock was a joke of a character. He might be badass in the TV special, but he wasn't really badass. We saw him fight a few scenes. We saw him trying to beat Dodoria and Zarbon, mainly Dodoria, and that was it. And he tried to rally up some followers, and boom, he got killed. Because he became a laughingstock. I always found TV special Bardock to be a laughingstock. Akira Toriyama's rewriting of Bardock, yeah, a lot of people don't like Minus. But there's a lot of things in there that can be used, has been explored. And the key part of that is the month. That month can be explored. That month could mean sending Goku off to Earth could be part of that month. But after he sent him to Earth, Bardock could find more people that don't trust Frieza. They become the rebellion. They rise up. And yes, some shots of Frieza destroying the planet is in the trailer, but it's in camera angles where we don't see everybody there, even because we see it from the back of the Death Ball. We don't see it at the front or after he launched it. We see a close-up of Frieza after he launched it, I think in the trailer, and from the back where we can't see anybody that probably was in front of the spaceship before the Death Ball hits Vegeta. So Bardock could probably still be there before the planet explodes. Possible. Meaning the whole 2 planets that he incorporated within from the special can still be incorporated within the movie and still not be a retcon. It can still all fit, because the main part that can make this all work is that month eradication plan within that month time. I'm heavily emphasizing that because it's a big deal. Nobody mentioning the whole month plan of him having a month to plan it, so he's waiting for the last Saiyans to arrive back on Earth within that month. Because in Minus, it just suddenly cuts to Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta. After he mentions that, it gets cut, and I can double check that, because it just then cuts to pretty much Bardock and Gine sending Goku off, and then it cuts to Jakku Galactic Patrolman to be sent to Earth to find Goku, and then the whole story of Jakku starts before Dragon Ball. So that is pretty much it. Now, the whole Goku being sent off from Planet Vegeta to Earth could happen while the whole planning to eradicate the Saiyans happens at the same time. So those two scenes could be happening simultaneously. But how animation works, we get to see it one part of what Frieza's doing, and then during what Frieza's doing, Bardock and that is getting the pod to send Goku off to Earth. Awesome. Okay, so that whole month, so that can be all part of the month. That could just be like just before the month starts. So Frieza's waiting for the rest of the Saiyans out and just take a month to come back. Bardock could then change his armor. He ends up starting the rebellion. Some of his closest friends, like in the special, could still die. Bardock then gets the white bandana. It ends up being in blood, and he wraps it around his forehead. And then the rest of the rebellion that probably still alive, because they probably split up to fight other Frieza soldiers just to get to Frieza. And they get to Frieza outside near the spaceship, and then that iconic scene that everybody knows could probably still happen. So people are taking into account, I've been looking into this way too much, but I looked into it to the point where it can be done. That retcon can be fixed, can be adjusted, and it becomes not a retcon, because the key point of this whole retcon business is because nobody's mentioned that month. A month is the big key. Jakku, the Minus chapter mentions Frieza saying that he's going to eradicate them within a month. In that month, Bardock could change his armor. Within that month, Bardock could bring a rebellion together. In that month, they could be facing Frieza. And then near the end of that month, Frieza just decides to blow up Vegeta. In a similar way to that, because like I said, the trailer showed the explosion of the Death Ball and the Planet Vegeta going in a different angle than we normally see. We normally see it from Bardock's perspective and Frieza's perspective of throwing it. This time we've seen Frieza throw it closer, but more of a close-up, but we didn't see anything from because of how the angles were. So the camera angles are still the big portion here. How the camera angles were with it further back, and we just see the main part of the Death Ball covering pretty much probably the size of the rebellion already, so we wouldn't be able to see the rebellion or see Bardock because the Death Ball's already covering that portion, and then it getting launched into Planet Vegeta. Atmosphere as well. They could probably, the reason why we couldn't see them in that scene either in the trailer is they probably were still in the atmosphere before Frieza fired the Death Ball. Lot of possibilities here. Lot of things that can easily fix the whole retcon thing that a lot of people are wondering that is retcon, and a lot of things because no one, and I've stated that a lot of people have not brought up the month. The month is the big, that page was really a big eye catch. Even when I looked at it, I was like, month. And that stuck to my head. That always stuck to me. Even when I haven't read it from years, I haven't read Minus. But that whole panel has stuck with me because that is something that when I go through Minus, after revisualizing Minus in my head, the next thing I pictured was the whole plan to eradicate the Saiyans within a month. That is what is stated in the manga, and if the manga is getting adapted into a movie and getting expanded out, the whole month thing can be expanded into that as well. So there's a lot of material can be added for just the month before Frieza decides to blow up Planet Vegeta. A lot of content. Okay, so that is the section about Bardock, about how the month page of Minus is an important detail that a lot of Dragon Ball YouTubers I've noticed, have skipped over. Because one, they don't like Minus, they prefer Bardock, the father of Goku. Or they don't care enough to really remember it much. This is coming from a person that likes Minus. So yes, I'm a bit biased, but when it comes to Minus and Akira Toriyama's work and him doing his own take on certain characters, I had to bring up the month. Now we will cut to this page. Here you will see the raw of Dragon Ball Z one of the chapters in volume 1 of Dragon Ball Z's manga, or volume 20 or volume 17 in the Dragon Ball manga, depending on which version you have. If you've got the Japanese single volumes, then it'd be volume 17. If you've got the Viz Media releases, then it'd be volume 1, because from volume 17, that's where Viz decided to split the mangas into two halves, Z and Dragon Ball. Okay? So what am I getting at here? So this page here is the page where Master Roshi explains to Goku how Grandpa Gohan found him. Okay? So here's the blank page with just the raw. Now, my friend DT Ninja helped me translate this, because I think his occupation outside of YouTube is language, so he is big on the translation side of things. I think he works as a teacher, I believe. I can't remember, but he helped me translate and help me find 3 words that I've tried to find. Ko, that means young. Akachan, that I've recently learned has 2 meanings. 1 baby, 1 infant. So the 2 meanings for Akachan is infant. And the other one was, I think, toddler, so Yojin or Yoji or Yojin. So he helped me, and to the point out that he highlighted the area of the bubble where it says Akachan, and Akachan can be read as either baby or infant. Now, I did Google searches. I've done my searches twice, constantly, to the point where I said, what does Japan age consist of for an infant? Nothing. It gave me pages to, I'll say it, give me pages to how to raise a child in Japanese culture, and pages like that, how to raise your own child in the Japanese way. And that didn't get me the answers. So I just went, what ages is infant classed as? And it redirected me to toddler. So infant can also mean toddler as well. So Akachan has 3 meanings then, or infant is just another word for toddler as well. So when it came down to this, after DT helped me translate this part, or translate a certain word, and highlighted it for me as well, as you can see, I then went into further of the age range of a toddler and infant, and what came up with between the age 1 to 3, you are classed as a toddler / infant. So Goku was sent from planet Vegeta to Earth as a 3-year-old. Now, if I didn't get the full page reworked so the infant word fits, but if Akira meant it to be the word infant, then him retconning the age of Goku arriving on Earth has not been retconned. So like I stated before, Akachan or the word used highlighted in the red, in that red box, has two meanings: baby or infant. Viz Media went with baby as they thought it'd be the easier approach. And now with Minus, with him being 3 years old, I think if they decide to go back to retranslate that, because now they have the knowledge of this, they could probably be able to reword it to the point where they could word it right with infant being used. And that would be interesting and in on itself. Okay, so Akira, I have a funny feeling that Akira went with infant and always had infant in his mind, even when he wrote up Minus. When he wrote the original portion of the manga, the first chapter of the Z in volume 17, he had the word infant always in mind. I have a funny feeling that's why he has. But then there is the case of the picture of Goku as an actual baby from Raditz. Now that can be easily thought up and easily categorized as Raditz's last seeing Goku. Because remember, Raditz in Minus was with Vegeta on a planet, just eating a bug or something, or eating whatever alien species there is, because they were hungry probably, and he was on that world. He doesn't know that Goku was sent off. He only had a hunch that Goku was sent to Earth to destroy it. That is plausible within the story because he couldn't get the info from Bardock or Guinea that Goku's been sent, and Vegeta and Frieza, and he's just got told that a meteor just struck planet Vegeta. So there he is, only to realise that he got a message saying that his brother, he probably just got a message from Bardock or Gino saying that his brother is on Earth, and then nothing came of it until we get introduced to Raditz in Z. So the last appearance before Raditz went off with Vegeta could be Goku was probably just newly born and in the incubator chamber, and Raditz could have been off-world for probably 3 years. Yes, so his last memories of his brother, Kakarot, as we know it as Goku, was a baby. So that whole picture of Raditz remembering Goku as a baby can still be accurate. But like I said, this is still Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. We still don't know what exactly is entailed is going to happen in that movie. There's a lot of rumours, speculations, and what's going to happen is my main thing, because a lot of things can happen, and a lot of things can be different, a lot of things can be changed, and that's a big question on itself. Now, I want your opinions, your thoughts, your discussions out of everything I lined up, everything I've discussed, everything I talked about within this video, because this is probably going to be one of my longest videos to date I ever done for this channel. I want your comments, your thoughts down in the comment section below on your theories. Because I brought up a lot of great points. I think I've done a great video in this. I've brought up a lot of great points where everything has been concreted to my research that I've done, and I just think it is needed to be mentioned that I was never originally planned to do this video, but it came to mind since the second trailer that it just became more apparent to do this video, and it took me 2 days to get all the content that I needed to do the research, all my thoughts process until now on recording it, and to get it out here. So like I said, comment down below what you liked about this video, what you thought it was interesting information that I brought onto this discussion, this whole topic at the moment about the retconning, and this was pretty much my 2 cents. So comment down below what you liked and didn't like, down in the comment section below. I'll try to interact as much as possible, thinking about where I stand with it and everything down there, and that's pretty much it. So I've been your host, Kai from Kai's Toei Corner, and I'll see you next time for another video. Don't know when that's going to be, but I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya.